Shadows of the Eternal Flame. Once in a land far beyond the reach of time, there stood an ancient temple hidden deep within the Valewood forest. This temple housed a flame, not just any fire, but the eternal flame, said to have burned since the birth of the world. Its light was warm and golden, and it never flickered, even in the fiercest winds. The fire was sacred, believed to be the very heart of the earth, connecting the heavens to the underworld. But with such a powerful flame came a great secret. It was whispered that this flame did not only illuminate the world above, but cast a second light, a shadow, into a forgotten realm. This was the realm of the lost, a place where echoes of the past roamed, and it was said that only the bravest souls could traverse the shadows of the eternal flame and return unscathed. For centuries, no one dared approach the temple after nightfall, for it was then that the shadows grew long and restless. Many had entered the temple to gaze upon the flame, but only during the day when it was safe. Yet there was one person who was different. A wanderer named Ira, known for her courage and driven by a thirst for knowledge, came to the Valewood in search of this legendary fire. Ira had heard the tales of the eternal flame and the shadows it cast into the world beneath. She believed the shadows held answers to the mysteries of life and death. Determined to uncover the truth, she approached the temple at dusk, when the boundary between the worlds was thinnest. As she stepped through the towering stone archway, the temperature dropped, and a low hum echoed through the temple walls. The flame burned as brilliantly as described, but as Ira moved closer, the light stretched, and from it, a figure formed in the air, a shadow. It resembled a man draped in black robes, with eyes like coals that smoldered in his darkened face. "You seek the truth," the shadow spoke, its voice a deep whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "But the truth comes with a price." Unfazed, Ira stood her ground. "I am willing to pay it," she said, her voice steady, though her heart raced. The shadow tilted its head, as though considering her. "Then follow me," it said, and without another word, it stepped into the flame. Ira hesitated only for a moment before plunging into the fire. But instead of burning, she felt a chill, as though she had passed through ice. On the other side, she found herself in a place unlike any she had ever known. The world was cloaked in twilight, with towering mountains and shadowy forests stretching into infinity. It was both familiar and alien, a mirror of her own world, but darker, quieter, and filled with the whispers of those who had been forgotten. Here, the shadows were not bound by the light of the flame. They moved of their own accord, twisting and curling like smoke. The shadow that had spoken to her earlier now stood before her, but it had grown larger and more imposing. "This is the realm of the forgotten," it said. "The place where all shadows come to rest. But not all who enter can leave." Ira felt the weight of the shadow's words, but she pressed on. She had come too far to turn back. "What must I do to leave?" "You must find the first shadow, the one cast when the eternal flame was lit. Only it can grant you the key to return." With no other choice, Ira ventured deeper into the realm of shadows. Along the way, she encountered beings made of pure darkness, creatures that whispered secrets in languages she couldn't understand. Yet, as eerie as they were, they did not harm her. She felt as though they were watching her, waiting. After what seemed like an eternity, she found herself at the foot of a mountain, its peak shrouded in mist. There, sitting upon a stone throne, was a figure unlike any of the others. It was the first shadow, vast and ancient, its form barely distinguishable from the night itself. "I know why you have come," the first shadow said, its voice like the crackle of distant thunder. "You seek to leave this place, but you do not yet understand its true nature." "What is it I must understand?" Ira asked, kneeling before the shadow. The first shadow leaned forward, and though it had no eyes, Ira felt its gaze bore into her soul. "This realm is not a prison, as you believe. It is a sanctuary. Every soul leaves behind a shadow when they die, a piece of themselves that is never truly lost. The shadows are the memories, the dreams, the legacies. To escape this place is to forget all that you are." Ira's heart pounded. She realized that if she left, she would lose not only this world but all the knowledge she had gained. Yet, if she stayed, she would become a part of the shadow world forever. I don't want to forget, she said at last. The first shadow nodded, a slow, solemn movement. Then take your place among the shadows. You will not be bound here, but neither will you be the same. With those words, Ira felt herself begin to change. Her form grew lighter, less solid. She was becoming a shadow, but not just any shadow. A shadow of the eternal flame itself. As she faded into the twilight, she realized the truth. The flame and the shadows were one. Light and dark, life and death. They could not exist without one another. Ira had found the answer she sought, though it was not the one she expected. She had become a part of the very mystery she had set out to solve, forever walking the line between the worlds of light and shadow. And so, to this day, it is said that if you visit the Temple of the Eternal Flame at dusk, you may see her, Ira, the shadow of the flame, wandering between the realms, guarding the secrets of life, death, and all that lies beyond. Subscribe the channel to get new story.